Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the DVC Show, coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week from DVCResaleMarket.com, Miss Marissa Valaton.
Hello, hello.
From DVCRentalStore.com, Mr. Paul Krieger.
Hey, everybody.
And from MoneraFinancial.com, Ms. Amy Krieger.
Hello.
And producing our show this week, as always, Mr. John Sakari, a.k.a. Big Fat Panda from BigFatPanda.com.
How are you, everyone?
That is the name of his website. That is his branding. Before I hired him, I am not fat shaming him.
It's actually your branding now, because now I'm basically a part of you. So there you
That's
go.
right. You're part of the family.
The ecosystem.
Part of the universe.
Why panda?
Okay. It comes from Kung Fu Panda.
I knew it. I knew
At
it.
the end of Kung Fu Panda, they
That was
call
my
him a
guess.
big fat panda, and he says, "I'm not a big fat panda. I'm the big fat panda," and he pummels him. And I was like, "I gotta own that. That's great."
Can we use that theme song like when you're introduced?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that.
Yeah, when Disney buys DreamWorks, we'll be good.
I'm just-
Yeah, so this show, as always, brought to you by the world of DVC, which includes DVCResaleMarket.com, where you can pick up a great deal on a resale contract. If you'd like to try DVC before you buy, or if you're a DVC member with points that you need to rent out, or DVCRentalStore.com. Great location for that. I have used both of the. Actually, I've used all three of the
Yeah.
companies. So I can speak from experience when I say they're very, very good. Especially like Rental Store getting me my Grand Californian. That happened in like a matter of minutes. That was so bizarre.
Yeah.
I thought for sure I was going to have a problem getting that reservation. I need a 2-bedroom for these dates. And
It's Grand Californian is hard just because you know that even with members out there, it is cutthroat even at the 7 to 11 month window. So good. You had the right member in the right place at the right time, looking out for you.
So happy about that. And of course, MoneraFinancial.com, where you can finance your DVC contract. So please show your support for our sponsors and give them your business. This week, we're going to talk about the future the future of direct benefits. There's an article that Paul posted on DVCFan.com. We should give them some love too. About rumors going around with what may be happening for direct benefits. So tell me more, Paul.
Yeah, so, a recent rumor that's been spinning around has been that Disney Vacation Club is beginning to consider their options when it comes to direct member benefits. Now, I should take the word direct out of there because we really don't know what direction long-term this will go in, but it's overall looking at the entire member benefits program and revamping it, so to say. And I'll be the first to say I've been overly critical of DVC since the pandemic has sort of lightened up, in that they've not really brought back a lot of those benefits that members are used to seeing. Specifically speaking, the only one that's not back right now, annual passes. That's a huge one. There's so many members that we hear from that are waiting for annual passes to come back. But the other ones took a while too. Top of the World Lounge just came back. Basically, Moonlight Magic, all of these other special events, these things that were that additional add-on value to your membership that people loved. Granted, they were never promised, but people loved as part of being a Disney Vacation Club member. So we heard that they're beginning to toy around with some new options here, and that primary option that they're beginning to look like they're settling on is that, how about we do this as what they call Membership Magic Diamond level, or a paid monthly subscription or yearly subscription that gives you an added layer of member benefits or an added additional level of benefits as what you're used to. And on the surface, it's not a terrible idea, because most of us, we could go around the table and list how many things we pay $9.99 a month for, or
Right.
$14.99 a month for. So the original prices that were thrown out there were $100 a year. I think we can all agree that it probably won't be that low, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But, you know, in throwing some pricing options around there, you know, people will pay money for that. And I think that's what Disney's really acknowledging by this, is that, you know what, we can maybe put some of these member benefits that people know and love behind a paywall, and they're still going to give us money for them. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what direction long term they decide to go with these on. Now, some of the rumored benefits that potentially would be a part of this program are enhanced park access. So maybe some additional either early entry or late park hours. Priority room upgrades, not 100% certain what that means. And there's also some questions of legality that many people have raised since we posted this article as to, is that something that they could really offer? You know, people jumping people on wait lists and stuff like that.
Yeah, so this is just speculation, obviously. But when I hear that in terms of something I think they can do, members make room requests all the time within the category that they booked.
Right.
So, for example, we like staying at the boardwalk. We like doing the pool garden view, but our favorite spot is to be on Village Green because you can still see a little part of the boardwalk and in the lake. And so I take that as perhaps your room request within that category that you book will be prioritized maybe over others. That's kind of
how I took it too. And I think if you look at back in the day with DVC, it used to be the way they would prioritize that would be based on when you check in. Now everybody can check in at 7 a.m. on the mobile app, right? Yep. So you don't have to be in person. So that would make more sense to be as part of like within the category you've already booked if you want a specific area to be have your room in.
So another one that's listed on here, we've already sort of hinted at exclusive ticket offers. So, you know, my mind immediately goes to annual passes. If annual pass sales would come back, would it be a part of this program, or are they alluding more so to other types of tickets? Disney Vacation Club members also get discounts on Mickey's Not So Scary, Very Merry, all of those type of things. So that could be where they're alluding also, but my mind immediately goes to annual passes. Premium offerings on Disney Vacations, and expanded access to member-only spaces. So, you know, all of that are what were rumored as potentially part of this program. But on the surface, it makes sense. You know, it's something that when I first heard about it, when the rumor was first brought to me, you know, I said to myself, yeah, I'd probably pay for that because I paid $9.99 a month or $10.99 a month for far less with other subscriptions and stuff like that. So,
yeah, and I'm not, you know, I'm on record. I'm not a fan of the nickel and diming going on at Disney World right now. And this is, you know, if they move to something like this is definitely nickel and diming. But yeah, here's my nickels, here's my dimes.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. I think they can get creative here. And I mean, if you just take stuff that was already free and now put it behind a paywall, people will pay and they'll hate you. Plain and simple.
Yep.
So DVC, I know you're listening. Here's an opportunity. Put some new stuff in here. Put some different stuff in here. Stuff we haven't thought of yet. Put it behind a paywall. And watch us give you give you our money. And end up with that sense of, oh, I'm so glad I'm a member. You know.
As somebody who hasn't yet pulled the trigger on the contract, exactly what Pete said, I would be totally in for you.
And, you know, maybe it's a thing where we were talking in the Top of the World show about the restrictions on resale. Maybe it's a tiered system where if you're resale, you can get access to these things, but it's a higher price.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one
Yeah.
price for direct members, one price for resale members.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not encouraging this. So please, resale members, don't attack me. I'm just saying. And I mean, I own resale as well. I own a lot of resale. Most of my points are resale. 2/3 of my points are resale.
Yeah.
Did it
It's
just start
rain.
raining?
It's raining.
Okay.
That's right.
I can hear
No,
it.
Marissa and I were talking about that right before we started the
Yeah.
show. And, you know, the biggest thing you come back to is, you know, we know Disney wants money right now. And they are leaving so much money on the board if they do not make that tiered system, like you said, Pete, and allow resale members access to this, maybe at a little bit of a higher price, but like you're leaving a lot of money on the table if they don't do that.
Well, and that's the thing. This is when you look at like DVC as a whole, again, if you go back to like the whole purpose of DVC, yes, the entry price is what that big purchase price is. However, what you pay as a member the most throughout all your years of membership is your dues. So whether you're resale or direct, you're still giving Disney a large chunk of money to operate that resort. So I think by taking away the resale option, I think that's totally taking out a whole group of people who would love to pay and probably would, if they had to go the route of paying more, be okay with paying a bit more to have those benefits. And why take away from that extra revenue that's just sitting there?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think if we did like a follow-up survey to the article that we posted, I almost want to say, 80 to 90% of people that were commenting on the article and commenting on the DVC fan Facebook group were saying,
Take my money
take
now.
my money now, I'll do it.
But that's the thing. At $100, I hate to say, oh, it needs to be more, but at $100, everyone's gonna buy it, and the exclusivity is going to not be there. You know what I mean? Not every single person is going to get their room request because they bought into this, because everyone bought it. So there has to be, I don't know, a look at that.
Did
price.
they say, like, if they were going to do anything like this, was anything mentioned of if they had to do it for the remainder of the deed? Or if they could cancel? Is it monthly where they could get like a Netflix subscription where you can cancel month to month?
The general understanding that I had going into it was that this would be something that you paid at the time of your annual dues on a yearly basis.
Okay.
So it just sort of is rolled into that if you decide to opt into these extra benefits. Now, Pete, to your point earlier, we want exciting things. So in our article, that was sort of the second part of what we alluded to, is that, okay, we've heard about what they're thinking about adding on. Here's what we actually want, though. And to Amy's point, you could probably charge us even more money for if we got some of these things. And again, these were all speculation just on my behalf, and maybe you guys have some other ideas to add as well. One of the first things I said, discounted Walt Disney World and Disneyland tickets. There is no opportunity to buy discounted tickets as a Disney Vacation Club member currently. And I think specifically speaking, Disneyland is a big one that does not get any love when it comes to member benefits.
True.
We recently got an email from one of our viewers that sort of said, I would love for you guys to talk about that. And it's super true. Even with Moonlight Magic, they used to get Moonlight Magic events, and they're not getting Moonlight Magic events out in California anymore. Although
Even the ones they did. Like, didn't they do like a yoga one?
Oh, they had the morning.
They had like a yoga morning one as like one of the first Disneyland Moonlight Magics. They failed them for sure. Yes.
Yoga.
Welcome to the park. You have to exercise.
You get in at 6 a.m.
I don't know. Quick service food discounts. Now, this is one that Disneyland has that the rest of us over in Walt Disney World would love to have, is discounts when it comes to quick service dining. I think that would be an amazing perk to add, and there's no reason you can't do it, especially with mobile order being what it is now. It should be an easy thing that you can add on to member benefits. More member lounges and later times. I think the Epcot lounge is turning into, you've got to check like the daily schedule to see if it's open at this hour this week, or if it's closed for a private event or something like that. And normally it closes at
It closes at
6 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not leave it open a little bit later, allow some more flexibility, and bring some more member lounges to other parks? I think that would be a huge added benefit for members. I added in private fireworks viewing areas. So, some opportunity for members to have a private dedicated space at some of the different fireworks shows and stuff like that. A certain number of free lightning lanes per year. I mean, I feel like it's owed to them.
If you don't put it out there, it may never happen.
I'm dreaming here. I mean, these are all dreams that I have. So just having some more different, smaller pop-up events throughout the year, because let's face it, when it comes to Moonlight Magic, there are only a limited number of those events, and they have to align when a member is actually going to travel. So the odds of that are, I don't know. Advanced registration opportunities with Moonlight Magic
That would
and
be a
other
huge one.
and other member events. So yeah, specifically speaking, Moonlight Magic, we know how crazy that member registration could be. So what if a day before even the people that have room reservations that time, these people can actually get in and book Moonlight Magic. My head also goes to like Run Disney, marathon sales, those type of things. Those always are crazy. Maybe Disney Cruise Line, that type of stuff. So there's a huge opportunity there just to give some exclusivity to the people that are a part of this program.
So they've talked about, when I used to work for DVC, especially on the cruise line side, they were going to have, and that their goal was to have like special check-in, like the concierge, special like round of applause when you walked in, like here's our DVC. So that's been like something that's been pushed for, how many years ago was that when they were doing it? Like 7 years. So it could be something that they could plug in with that.
When we did our first Disney cruise, the Disney Vacation Club kiosk was just pushed off into the corner for now. It's like, we're not going to deal with this right now.
It went from full on next to concierge, so here's your corner.
Yeah.
Well, on the Wish, it's got its own room. It's got like in the main area, it's got a really nice, like almost like a lounge with offices.
Oh wow.
It's like a little lounge area.
I've heard they're bringing back they just brought back onboard sales too, in sales presentations and things like that. So that's cool that's coming back. I think a lot of members or a lot of people that were even considering Disney Vacation Club were excited for that. The last one that I had on here, prioritized waitlist requests. And again, that sort of falls into a little bit of a gray area as to whether or not they can do that, but it sort of aligns with what we were talking about is, maybe room requests as well. And could they include those?
Or early check-in. That's a big thing. If you prioritize those people to get their room sooner, or that would be big.
Everybody would buy it just for early check-in alone, I feel like. So, any others come to mind that we could see added to this?
The whole fee for early check-in would have to go towards like a whole new housekeeping. Here's the early check-in housekeeping.
Yeah, they're just like running around like chickens with their head cut off, like from one end of the building to the other end, trying to get rooms ready for people with early check-in and stuff like that. So I would sort of say, again, all of this is sort of speculation. All of this is a rumor for now. There's nothing set in stone, but normally some of these sort of thoughts check out long term. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something within the next year or so about them moving in this direction. And I think we can all agree, for the most part, it doesn't sound like the worst idea we've ever heard, which Disney's probably listening to this and going, they're agreeing with us? What?
And want to give us more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, take a look at add-on-itis. We're okay with giving you more money, but we want something of value in return for it. And so there is common ground here between what we want and what you need. As long as you are creative and open-minded and not Botchagaloop the peddler, looking for nickels and dimes in the couch, we can make a deal. We can find some common ground in this.
Right. For other ones, I feel like amenities is another one. So like if you take like a Lonnie, Hilton Head, Vero Beach, all like DVC resorts, and you add in things like guaranteed cabanas, or not guaranteed, but like early booking for cabanas, or even when you're on the cruise line, like early booking for cabanas, or like the specialty like Palo or Remy. Yeah. I feel like anything like that, you could charge a pretty nice premium for.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens if this comes to pass. Usually these rumors like this end up being accurate. I have a feeling we're going to see this. I'm very interested to see what it is they come up with, but we'll have to wait and find out. And that is going to do it for our show for this week, folks. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next Monday with another episode of the DVC Show. Have a great week.